Now, you guys, there was a picture that went viral last night, and it is a photo of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion seating chart. Here you see to our left or to Andy's right, you see Mia, you see Wendy, and you see Stacy. And then to our right and his left, you see Giselle, you see Ashley, and you see Kiarna. But noticeably absent from the seating chart is the Grande Dame of Potomac, none other than Miss Karen Huger herself, who recently was convicted of a DUI and several other driving related and alcohol related charges. So obviously, RHOP viewers are upset that she is not showing up to face the consequences of her actions here on the show, here at the reunion. And now, in true Karen deflection fashion, she found the perfect excuse to get away from this. And a lot of people are wondering if she's going to be getting fired from the show. But I got to tell you guys, just from having, listen, just from having dated a lawyer, and we used to watch How to Get Away with Murder together, and he would be pointing out some of the things that were like odd or illegal in the show that were just not accurate. So I retained this information about alcoholism from chats with him. So shout out to that POS. But Karen, now that she didn't show up for this reunion and instead is checked into a rehab, she has made herself unfireable because alcoholism is a disease, is an illness. So if you were to fire someone over alcoholism, they do, it depends on where they are, but I believe this is in her area as well, in the DMV, they can have grounds to sue you for discrimination. Again, if you guys are in the legal field, let me know in the live chat. Or if you're part of my playback posse, my VOD squad, let me know in the comment section of this video, okay, you guys? But Karen, I think she really, truly has saved herself. This was a really, really good play. I think she did this because she didn't want to be held accountable for her actions. And I think perhaps her lawyers also told her, this is the best way that you can shield yourself from a firing. Because typically in the Real Housewives universe, if a housewife does not show up for the reunion, she is subsequently going to be fired. Okay. But now, if you don't show up, but it's because you are in rehab and you want to treat your illness, which is alcoholism, oh Lord, this is a whole different ballgame. And so people have been asking, hey, will Karen be fired because of her her performance, her lies, her this, her that, all sorts of things, right? Or her actually being convicted of a crime? The answer to that typically is no, because there have been other Real Housewives stars, most notably Teresa Giudice and Jen Shaw from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and New Jersey, who were convicted of crimes and who continued to be, well, Teresa, she continued to be a Real Housewife, right? So if they were to keep Teresa as a Real Housewife after being convicted of crimes and they were to fire Karen, that would be another case for a discrimination lawsuit, right? You keep a white woman who was convicted of a crime and you terminate a black one. It just doesn't work that way. So now she's got a lot of layers of protection here. Outside of race, it is also illness. Okay, you guys. So I just don't see it. What about you guys? Do you think that Karen is ultimately going to be fired? Or do you think that she's kind of like shielded herself here at this point? By the way, you guys, I am loving all of the new people who are now showing up and saying, hey, this is my first time catching you live. Like, it feels so cool that you guys are able to be here for the first time. I do the morning report every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Monday to Friday, and we cover the day's hottest topics. So I really hope that you guys are able to catch other lives in the future as well. Adam, you're back. Adam was one of my cousins, so a UK viewer that I met at Campfire After Dark in London. He says the reunion will be boring without Karen there. Worst season of RHOP. Don't even get me started, because let me put back up the seating chart so we can discuss what's really going on, okay? This season really truly revolved around Mia. Karen's DUI and whatnot was supposed to be a rather big part of the season, but I think she threatened the girls, and that's why you see the girls backing off on her. She knows where the bodies are buried. So Giselle, Ashley are not going to go as hard on her as they usually would. Same with Mia. Kiarna was never going to go hard on her because Karen rode for her, or rode with her, in the ambulance when she got hit in the head in the glass by Sesame Street. Wendy loves her as well. right? And then Stacy, she seems to like her and be neutral because she doesn't know anything about this situation. So now it seems like here at the reunion, we're going to be talking about Mia, the ink situation. We're also going to be talking about the paternity stuff. And then it's going to be Mia versus Giselle, because apparently behind the scenes on some extended versions of the clips that we got cut out of, Mia allegedly called Giselle's daughters hooers. So that's going to be a very, very big thing. But otherwise, what else do the other girls have going on? Is Kiarna going to come against Ashley over Ashley's friend? It's not going to be that interesting because Ashley's friend was not seen at all this season. Wendy, she's been getting along with everybody, so I don't see her doing anything. Same with Stacy. Stacy comes, she's kind of like a really nice, sweet presence in the season as well. So I don't see her having conflict. So I don't see this being a 3-part reunion. I don't think it's even going to deserve to be a 2-part reunion, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, this is a business and there are ad dollars to be made. So they are going to do their best to stretch the little piece of scandal, drama, whatever that they've got to be as many episodes as possible. And I think that the maximum amount of episodes that they can get out of this is 2 episodes. I don't know if you guys are on the same page there, if you think there's going to be more or less. Again, they deserve only one part, but ad dollars, you guys. So they're going to do at least 2 parts. And I think in the past they have done a 2-part reunion special because, justement, exactly, there wasn't that much going on. Creme Brulee says, people were quick to drag Karen when they saw that picture. Exactly. And as they should, because Karen is playing games. Here's the thing. How convenient is it that all of a sudden, now that it's time to tape that reunion, Karen has checked into rehab? Karen got arrested last year, right? She could have checked into rehab back then, but she didn't because she was playing Miss Innocent all this time, right? And then the conviction came out and she could have checked into rehab immediately after that as well. But I don't know. It seems all strategic on her part. But again, unfortunately, I think that she's going to win. She's going to come out smelling like roses here because it's going to be really, really, really difficult for Bravo to fire her after this. I think that they are going to be open to a lawsuit if they fire her at this point. I love Karen. Hope she gets the right help. Karen is a wuss. She should have just faced it and owned it because we already know what happened. The whole rehab excuse is pathetic. Oh, girl, it was a big mistake in my life. No, not you, go girl. But I did come out with some good knowledge. And you know what? That relationship set me up for learning French and then moving to Paris. So it was, a very important chapter of my life, although can't stand the guy. Karen and Giselle are the faces of the show. They can't fire her. That too. So it really feels like you guys, although some of you are upset at her for not showing up for the show, you guys understand and you don't think that she would be fired. And that's a good point, Malene. Luann was another one. She was arrested and it was alcohol related charges as well. And she's still on the show. She didn't get fired. However, I do believe that Luann, in lieu of showing up to the reunion, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, in lieu of showing up to the reunion, she actually did a one-on-one sit-down interview with Andy to talk about the disillusion of her very short-lived marriage and other things like that, right? So maybe do you think that Karen would do that? Do you think that she would be open to having a one-on-one? I think that, honestly, I do see Karen doing that, perhaps on the grounds of her rehab or after her rehab stint or something like that. She would be open, in my opinion, to having a one-on-one with Andy because Andy, although he could be shady, although he could be a little bit tough, it's nowhere near what the other girls would do to her. I don't think that Andy would eviscerate her the way that Giselle, the way that Ashley, right? Or the way that Mia would go for her. So especially after the way he handled the Leanne stuff, he handled Leanne with kid gloves. Luann. So I just don't see him going super duper hard on Karen. And again, like a lot of you guys are saying, RHOP did not have a good season. She is one of the faces of the franchise and everything like that. So I think it's in his best interest to make her comfortable so that she doesn't leave the show. And if he were to go really, really hard on her, she would potentially threaten to leave the show. So East Awesome has an awesome question, which is the rehab inpatient or outpatient? Also avoid dating lawyers and cancer doctors. Ooh, the ego's on them. The ego's on them. Another one that people say is to be careful dating cops as well. So let's take a look at what is the exact statement that Ryan Trestdale, who is Karen's manager, said in a statement to Bravo's Daily Dish, not bitch, Daily Dish. Quote, Karen made the important decision to enter a private recovery program, so she was unable to attend the reunion taping today. She was fully supported in this choice. We stand behind Karen as she embarks on this meaningful journey and are proud of her for taking such a significant step forward in her personal growth. So it seems as though this is an in-treatment rehab program, which I think is good, right? I think that this is what's best for people like Karen, who are allegedly on their fourth DUI. So on her record, it doesn't officially show that she's had 4 DUIs, but according to Charisse and other people in the DMV who know Karen and her reputation of allegedly being a lush, she has them. And some of them she was able to plead lower so that, instead of, for example, a DUI charge, it was kind of like a drunken disorderly type thing, like that sort of stuff, so that it doesn't look as bad as it truly, truly is. Okay, you guys. So listen, Karen, at the end of the day, alcoholism is a disease. Alcoholism is an illness. It sucks. It's terrible that she has gotten behind the wheel, that she has driven drunk on more than one occasion. It really, truly does. And I hate that. And I cannot stand drunk drivers, especially in light of that story that came out over the fall, right? Do you remember that story? There are some NHL players. They were all getting ready to go to the wedding of one of them. And on their way there, they got hit by a drunk driver and they pass away. One of them had a child on the way, and the child was just born after his passing recently, just a couple days ago. The other, he was the groom for that wedding. All gone. Other members of their family and friends gone, thanks to a drunk driver. So I truly, truly, truly detest drunk driving. But at the same time, I do recognize that it is an illness. And I do hope that this rehab stint is going to help put Karen on the straight and narrow so that she does not do this ever, ever again. In fact, here's my thing. Karen, you're married to the Black Bill Gates. You say he's so, so rich, and now you're making a lot of money on RHOP. Why don't you go ahead and hire a driver, right? I feel like she should be driving Miss Daisy. Have a driver to take you everywhere, like the New York girlies, right? Bethany had a driver taking her everywhere, and she's never had a DUI. Why can't rich Karen do that, right? It's crazy.